If you are over 60, do not make these 5 retirement financial mistakes, especially if you are battling cancer. Many people think that at this age, their financial future is secure. But the truth is just one wrong decision about money can cause your entire retirement plan to collapse, especially when cancer-related medical costs are spiraling out of control. Did you know, in the first year after a cancer diagnosis alone, the average treatment cost in America can top $42,000, and that is after insurance. Many people have had to sell their homes, withdraw every penny they had, or make financial mistakes they could never recover from. In this video, I will show you the 5 common money mistakes that people over 60 often make when facing cancer, and how you can avoid each one. From withdrawing retirement too early, buying the wrong type of insurance, to ignoring important Medicare benefits, each tip will help you save thousands of dollars and stay in control of your finances. Do not let a small mistake become an irreversible disaster. Watch now before it is too late. Let's begin with the first mistake: not having a separate fund set aside for long-term treatment costs. Don't wait until the doctor says terminal cancer to realize that you are completely unprepared. At age 60, many people mistakenly believe their retirement savings are for spending on the joys of retirement, traveling, shopping, or renovating the house. But there's a reality few people consider. That is cancer, a disease that can strike at any moment and bring with it unimaginable long-term treatment costs. Older adults often neglect creating a separate fund for major medical expenses, thinking their insurance will be enough. But in reality, the cost of cancer treatment, from chemotherapy, radiation therapy, to medications and supportive care, can reach hundreds of thousands of dollars over many years. Even with Medicare insurance, many expenses are still out of pocket. Co-payments, out-of-network services, non-formulary drugs, or at-home care. According to the United States National Cancer Institute, the average cost of cancer treatment in the first year after diagnosis can top $150,000. And that number climbs even higher for cancers that require long-term care. Sadly, many people only discover this when they are already deep in a financial crisis. The story of Richard Coleman, a 68-year-old from Des Moines, Iowa, is a clear testament. He and a close friend, both the same age, received a prostate cancer diagnosis in the same year. But Richard had already prepared a medical fund, having saved regularly for 10 years after he retired. Because of that, he could choose a top specialist and get treatment at a leading center near Chicago without worrying about the cost. In contrast, his friend, who relied only on his basic retirement and Medicare, had to delay chemotherapy, charge medications to credit cards, and was eventually forced to sell his second home just to cover treatment. The financial pressure caused his mental health to decline rapidly. Without a separate fund, you don't just face financial hardship. You may also have to delay or refuse the best treatments, simply because you cannot afford them. And at that point, what you're paying isn't just in money, it's your very chance to live. But don't worry, the solution isn't complicated at all. You can start today by opening a separate health savings account if you are eligible, or simply setting up a separate fund in your bank account, clearly named Cancer Emergency Fund. Every month, just set aside a small, regular amount. It could be $50 or $100. The important thing is to start. Ask yourself this: if you got bad news tomorrow, would you have the finances to act? Don't wait until you're forced to choose between your health and your money. Prepare intelligently, because your chance at life can depend on being proactive from the start. And besides a contingency fund, another mistake many people make right after retiring is this: dropping health insurance because they think, I'm healthy now, so I don't need it yet. Entering retirement and immediately dropping your health insurance, that's a mistake many people pay for with their very lives. After retiring, many people choose to cut back on spending. That seems reasonable until they decide to drop their health insurance, thinking, I'm not working anymore, I probably won't get very sick. But if you're without health insurance, after 60, you are making yourself extremely vulnerable when facing a serious disease like cancer. Cancer doesn't give a warning. It doesn't spare anyone. Whether you live a healthy life, don't smoke, or eat a balanced diet, just one diagnosis could leave you facing enormous hospital bills. Without health insurance to help, these costs could cause your entire post-retirement life to completely collapse. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, or CDC, cancer rates increase dramatically in people who are 60 years old and over. And with that comes treatment costs that can top tens of thousands of dollars per round, not including drugs, tests, and in-home care. The story of Donna Hughes, a 72-year-old from Bakersfield, California, is a sobering cautionary tale. Just after retiring at age 65, Donna chose to drop her private health insurance, thinking it was too expensive. She thought basic Medicare was enough. But at age 70, she was diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer. Her doctors recommended an image-guided biopsy, followed by a personalized plan of chemotherapy and radiation. However, traditional Medicare didn't cover these costs in full. She was facing tens of thousands of dollars in medical bills. Unable to afford it, Donna had to delay treatment and then chose affordable but less effective options. The result was the disease spread quickly and her chances for recovery dropped significantly. No insurance means you're limiting your own power to choose. You may have to accept treatment at a less equipped facility or use older, less effective drugs. And those choices can sometimes directly impact your chances of survival. Never completely cut your health insurance after retiring. Keep at least a Medicare Advantage or Medicare supplement plan for broader coverage. If you can afford it, consider adding specific cancer insurance. Just a few dozen dollars a month could save you from financial ruin when you least expect it. Now ask yourself this: are you willing to trade peace of mind to save a few $100s a year? Or would you rather have the power to choose the best possible treatment when you need it? Back today, because dropping your insurance after retirement isn't saving money, it's gambling with your life. And on the flip side, many people, terrified after a diagnosis, spend tens of thousands on unproven therapies. An old man once believed in herbal remedies to cleanse his cells, $18,000 for 8 months of false hope. And when he returned to the hospital, his doctor said, "It's too late now." When facing a cancer diagnosis, panic and desperation can make us vulnerable to promises of miraculous cures. Many seniors in America, hoping to avoid chemotherapy or find a gentler solution, have spent thousands of dollars on methods that have never been proven, are not FDA approved, and have no clear scientific backing. From expensive supplements and cancer-curing essential oils, to flights to Mexico for exclusive immune cell therapies, these choices don't just drain your bank account, they also waste precious time that you need for effective treatment. Research from the American Cancer Society shows that patients who choose unproven alternative therapies instead of standard care have a risk of dying that is 2.5 to 5 times higher, depending on their type of cancer. Each month you delay standard treatment is another month cancer cells can spread, making recovery much harder. The case of Robert Jenkins, a 66-year-old from Phoenix, Arizona, is a heartbreaking example. After being diagnosed with early-stage colon cancer, he refused surgery. Instead, on the advice of friends, he started a detox protocol using herbs and biophotonic light, which cost over $18,000. For 8 months, he believed he was cleansing his body and taming his cancer cells. But when he returned to the hospital with severe abdominal pain, the cancer had spread to his liver and bones. By then, conventional treatments were no longer nearly as effective. The truth is, there are no shortcuts when it comes to treating cancer. Those promises of no pain, no chemo, no radiation sound so appealing, but they often come from unregulated, unlicensed, and unaccountable sources. Always consult your oncologist and get your information from trusted sources like the websites for the National Cancer Institute, the FDA, or Mayo Clinic. If you're considering an alternative therapy, ask this question: has it been clinically tested? Is it recognized by doctors? And could it be delaying your standard proven treatment? You can choose your own way to fight cancer, but don't let false hope lead you down the wrong path. Don't bet your chance at survival on a rumor. Be smart, place your trust wisely, because no amount of money can buy back the time you've lost. If you're still with me and finding this helpful, do me a favor and drop a 3 in the comments below. And hey, if you haven't already, I'd really appreciate it if you'd subscribe and ring that notification bell so you don't miss what's next. Your support is what allows us to keep making helpful and inspiring content like this. And sometimes the problem isn't treating the disease too late. It's that you never even got checked to know it was silently growing. A person will gladly pay $50 for each pound of organic strawberries, but then hesitate before a screening that could save their life. Are you doing this? At 60 and beyond, many people still feel healthy, eat well, don't smoke, have no obvious symptoms, and because of that, they assume regular cancer screenings are unnecessary. But cancer is a silent disease. It often shows no symptoms in the early stages, and when it finally does, it can be too late. The issue is, if there's no financial plan for routine checkups, many people will postpone or skip them, and that can cost them their lives. Screening isn't just for peace of mind. It is the only opportunity to find cancer when it's still easily treatable or even completely curable. Methods like mammograms, colonoscopies, PSA tests, low-dose CT scans for lung cancer are all recommended for people over 60, especially those with risk factors. But not every insurance plan covers the full cost. And many people, to avoid spending a few $100s, miss their golden window for treatment. According to data from the American Cancer Society, finding cancer at an early stage can raise the survival rate to 90%, while a late discovery drops it below 30%. This gap is not just a number, it is an entire future, cut short. The story of Maria Gomez, 69 years old from San Antonio, Texas, is a perfect case in point. She was always proud of her health, never having been hospitalized. When her doctor recommended a routine colonoscopy, she refused, thinking, "I'm probably fine, and I can do it next month." But without a budget set aside for screening, she always found an excuse, pushing it back. By the time she saw a doctor for lasting abdominal pain, her colon cancer was already stage 3. She cried out, "If only I had gone sooner, it would have cost just $200. Not budgeting for preventative screenings is a common mistake. In retirement, many people plan for medicine and insurance, but they forget this very small expense. Meanwhile, just by planning a few $100s each year, you can protect yourself from massive costs down the road. Every year, set aside a fixed amount, even just $20 a month, to be used only for your regular checkups. Label it in your budget, screening fund. And don't wait for symptoms before you get checked, because cancer won't wait for you to feel pain. Ask yourself if just a few $100s could help you find and stop the most dangerous disease of old age. What could be a better investment? Don't let today's delay become a lifetime of regret. And perhaps the most tragic thing is, so many people spare no expense for treatment, but hesitate to invest early, to avoid needing it in the first place. An old man spent his life saving $300,000, only to spend it all on the last 3 months of his life, because he never thought staying healthy is also an investment. Many people enter their 60s ready for, "If I get sick, I'll have money for treatment." They save up for hospital bills, buy good medicine, and are even ready to pay a premium for nursing and at-home care. But there is one thing they rarely do: proactively invest in their health before they get sick. And this is the paradox that traps so many seniors in a vicious cycle: finding cancer too late, then draining their life savings to buy back the time they lost. So the question is, why don't we use a small portion of those savings to prevent illness, instead of waiting for the illness to come? According to numbers from the National Institutes of Health, or NIH, nearly 70% of seniors spend most of their savings on end-of-life care, instead of on wellness programs or disease prevention. Meanwhile, simple measures like staying physically active, eating a healthy diet, getting regular screenings, vaccinations, and even managing stress are all proven to dramatically lower the risk of getting and dying from cancer. The story of Stanley Brooks, 74 years old, from Portland, Oregon, is a real wake-up call. His whole life he worked hard, saving over $300,000 to be prepared for old age. When he retired, he invested in good insurance and prepared money for hospital bills. But he ignored his daily health. He ate poorly, skipped regular checkups, and always figured, I'll deal with it when I get sick. At 73, he was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer in an advanced stage. At that point, he spent his entire savings to extend his life by a few months, while his doctor said that if found earlier, through lifestyle changes and regular checks, the disease could have been stopped from the start. The problem isn't how much money you have, it's how you use it. Using it all for late-stage treatment only leads to a desperate situation. Meanwhile, investing in your health, every small step from a healthy meal, a 15-minute walk each day, or an annual checkup can extend your life and keep you independent for much longer. Allocate your retirement budget not just for treatment, but for prevention too. Set aside a fund for activities like yoga, joining a nutrition class, or regular screenings. Even just asking yourself each month, what have I done to stay out of the hospital? Because in the end, every dollar spent on prevention is a step toward fending off disease. And every moment you are healthy is the true reward for your smart preparation today. You spent 40 years saving. Don't let 4 weeks of chemotherapy take it all. Cancer doesn't ask your age. It arrives unexpectedly and brings with it bills that are never easy. After 60, every dollar you spend isn't just money. It's a promise to yourself. I want to keep living, live well, and live with purpose. It's not about preparing for the worst, but about making sure that when something happens, you have nothing else to worry about, except getting better. Have a small fund for regular screenings. Keep your insurance, even if you still feel healthy. Don't rush to believe in promises of miracle cures. And above all, invest in prevention, because preventing is always cheaper than curing. If this video made you look at your wallet and rethink your priorities for your later years, start making a change today. It doesn't have to be a big one. Just put your health before any short-term expense. And if you have friends or family who are also nearing retirement, please share this video with them, because no one should have to face a crisis just because they missed one small preparation. Thank you for listening all the way to the end. I wish you health, peace of mind, and a life long enough to enjoy the rewards of all your hard work, completely and fully.